What if I told you that one of the greatest saints started out completely lost? He tried different jobs, he wandered from place to place, he didn't know what his life was supposed to be. And then, one day, everything changed. He became the kind of man who would run into a burning building to save sick people, the kind of man who would beg in the streets just to get bread and medicine for the poor, the kind of man who saw Jesus in the people everyone else ignored. His name was Saint John of God, and his story is one of the most powerful stories of love, courage, and mercy you will ever hear. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to Superhero Stories of Faith, give this video a like, and check out our books on Amazon for more amazing saint stories. Now let's meet the saint who changed the way people cared for the sick. Saint John of God was born in Portugal in the year 1495. His real name was John City. From the beginning, his life was not simple or easy. As he grew up, he worked many different jobs. He was a shepherd, a soldier, a farmer, a traveling seller, and later a book merchant. He kept moving from one thing to another. It was almost like his heart was searching for something bigger, but he hadn't found it yet. Have you ever felt like you didn't know what to do or where you belonged? That happened to John, too. But even when he felt lost, God was already leading him. Later, John moved to Granada, Spain, where he sold books. But as he walked through the city streets, he saw people who were poor, sick, hungry, and alone. Some were lying in pain. Some had no one to care for them. Some were completely forgotten. And John could not ignore them. He could have walked away like everyone else, but something inside him began to change. The suffering of others was knocking on his heart. And little by little, God was preparing him for his true mission. One day, John listened to a sermon by a holy priest named Saint John of Avila, and those words hit him deeply. He was so moved that he began to cry, repent, and beg God for mercy. His conversion was so intense that people thought he had gone crazy, so they locked him up in a place where the mentally ill were kept. But there, in that painful place, John saw something that changed his life forever. He saw how badly the sick were treated. He saw how much they suffered, and he realized that many people didn't see them as human beings with dignity. That was the moment John discovered his calling. He would give his life to care for the sick, the poor, and the forgotten. What looked like madness was really love. After that, John began picking up sick and abandoned people from the streets. He found food for them, blankets for them, medicine for them, a place where they could rest. And little by little, he started something new, a hospital filled with compassion. John understood something beautiful. It was not enough just to treat the body. You also had to care for the person's heart. So he cleaned wounds, made beds, served meals, listened kindly, and treated every person with love. His secret was simple: do everything with love, and that changed everything. But caring for so many people was expensive. He needed bread, clothes, blankets, and medicine. So John went through the streets carrying a basket and calling out, "Do good, brothers, for the love of God." Can you imagine hearing that in the street? Some people laughed. Some were surprised. Some probably thought, "Here he comes again." But John didn't stop. He kept asking because he knew every loaf of bread and every coin could help save someone. You could say he had a superhero power. He never gave up when someone needed help. John didn't just talk about love, he proved it. One day, a hospital caught fire. There was smoke everywhere, people were terrified. The sick patients could not escape on their own, but John ran into the flames to rescue them, again and again. Another time, he saw someone drowning in a river and jumped in to save that person. That was the kind of love he had, brave, fast, and selfless. And tradition tells us something very beautiful. When John cared for the poor, he believed he was serving Jesus himself because he had discovered a great secret. Jesus is close to those who suffer. Saint John of God also left behind some letters. In them, he encouraged people to love God deeply, go to Mass, confess their sins, and live with real charity. He knew that loving God is not just about words. If you really love Jesus, you will also love people. You will help, you will comfort, you will serve. That was his message, and that was the way he lived. St. John of God gave everything to Jesus by loving the sick and the poor. He teaches us that holiness doesn't always begin with something huge. Sometimes it begins with something simple: sharing, helping, listening, praying, and noticing the person everyone else ignores. Because behind every suffering person, Jesus may be waiting for us there. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to Superhero Stories of Faith, give this video a like, and check out our books on Amazon for more amazing saint stories.